Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Xbox North podcast. E3 is gone, and now we wait for the games. This is the sad part where, we just wait for the days of these games to come back. This is the Xbox North podcast. My name is Andrew Ravindran, and I'm joined by my three great lifelong Xbox mateys. I'm going to start with my first person who I hope is not going to be laughing, but is my old jolly good friend, Jesse Dean. Jesse, how's it going, my friend?
Very good, thank you. How are you guys doing? Good to see you again. Getting this podcast started off, right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. No, that's what's good. I'm digging your beard right now. It looks like you'd be perfect for Sea of Thieves right now.
Oh, it's growing. Yeah, we're growing, and I have my hair now is in mini bun stage, I guess you want to call it, or whatever, struggle bun, whatever you want to call it, and it's growing. It's growing.
Nice. Also with me is Dan Robertson. Dan, I gotta say, ever since we've been doing video podcasts, I'm loving the look of this. Just digging the thing about it. How's it going? Yeah.
Not too bad. Doing
Nice.
pretty good so far.
Nice.
Yeah. Missed
What
out
you
on the
been?
game session last night, but
Well, you're gonna come back.
Right, I got
And me
busy.
and
That's
me
my
and
fault.
Josh are gonna make you come back. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Lastly, my
We'll get on
lastly, my director of operations. I'm gonna call you my director of operations because you literally save my behind every day on a podcast. Days before, he's always helping me, making sure all the podcast is back together, prepping the script with me. Heck, even helping me with what I'm supposed to say because I'm always running out of dumb stuff to say. And I always say the stupidest shit all the time. Joshua James. Josh, how's it going, my brother?
Going good. I'm doing actually quite well. I'm playing a lot of games. God, I've been really still into Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order right now. So just been playing a lot of that with the new update on there. So just looking forward to, we're at the stage right now where we're kind of post E3. So we're waiting for all this good stuff coming, especially in the next couple months too. Like we got Forza, Halo, we got Back 4 Blood coming. So at least we have something to look forward to. And hey, this week we even got Scarlet Nexus, even though not on Game Pass. Go support,
The
pick
reviews
it
are
up.
good.
I watched an Easy Ally review on it. Seems actually really good, and I really much enjoyed the demo. So definitely something to look into to pick up, and just enjoying to. Can't wait to see some stuff coming up. So definitely feeling good.
Absolutely. Also, on a little final note, if you're looking for us, don't forget, you'll also find us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple. Just look for Xbox North Podcast. My director of operations, Joshua James, told me to say that. All right. Let's do our first chat of the day. So let's talk about the E3 Extended that just happened a few days after E3. I really like the idea of that Microsoft putting something that's a little bit more for the hardcore gamers, that's just developer diaries and just discussions of up and coming games, because you know what you get when you get like an E3 presentation. Sometimes it's way too long, you're kind of tired, there's some games you don't really give two craps about, and then you just get like, okay. Or there's just games where you can tell they're still in production and you don't want to see, or there's just something that's so exciting to see for the whole big press, but you might see something. And we just have to say, I really loved Microsoft's take on having this additional E3 Extended, just to show of like what every developer is doing. I think it's a smart thing to do because you know what? There's a lot of games to be talked about. There's a lot of games that you can't put all in for a 90-minute presentation. I think Microsoft's doing this completely right. I love every little bit about it. And the first thing that I want to talk about, because it was admitted on E3 and we all wanted to know, was Hellblade. What a fantastic little behind the scene trailer that we saw. It just looks phenomenal. It's on Unreal Engine 5, so they're transitioning. It's still early in pre-production. Epic Games is working with them, so they're having direct access to talk. Josh, what do you think about Hellblade that's coming up?
Well, from the trailer we saw, I don't think it's coming up anytime soon, sadly, even though they announced it quite early. But from what I can see from the behind the scenes trailer it looks like Ninja Theory is starting to become the developer they always wanted to be.
Mhm.
traveling the world, going to the setting of the game. I think it's in Iceland or Greenland,
Yeah.
one of the two.
Yep.
You can confirm that for me if you can. But they definitely go over there. It sounds like they're recording stuff from the location. They're taking pictures. They're making actually full outfits
Yep.
for the characters and scanning them into the game itself. So it's like as soon as Microsoft bought them, they started expanding. They got a new studio.
Yep.
I just feel like they are starting to become the studio they always want it to be, and you can see the kind of um, like when Microsoft first bought them, they were developing Bleeding Edge already
Yep.
before they bought them. That was something that you can tell it was kind of a trend chaser, if that makes sense. It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
chasing a trend so they could figure out a way to monetize their company to probably fund projects they actually want. Well, at least probably have more passion. Not saying they didn't have passion in Bleeding Edge, but it was a smaller team. It wasn't the full studio. But once that game came out, you can obviously tell it kind of fizzled away. But as soon as they got that Microsoft money, they really kind of upped. They announced Project Morrow, which is a psychological deep dive into mental health. And now they're doing all this extra stuff for Hellblade, like training all their animators in combat just so they can really feel that like to kind of get more authentic with their animation. I'm excited for it, but I don't think it's coming anytime soon.
No. No.
And
How
it
about
is
you?
Sorry, a little
Iceland.
long-winded on that one. Sorry.
Yeah. No.
That's
It's
all right.
yeah. Go ahead, Jesse.
It is Iceland. It is Iceland
It is
location.
Iceland.
Iceland.
I think what's really interesting is that have any of you played the original, the Hellblade,
Yep.
first one?
Playing it
I mean,
now. Playing it right now as we
nice.
speak. It's one of the
Yeah.
games that I'm playing. Yeah.
I mean, it's made by a smaller team. I think there was only 30 people of Ninja Theory that was working on it, so it was considered like more of an indie game. And you know, I liked. I loved the sound. I loved, in fact, I mean, it looks quite like, a AAA studio level work. I just felt that, when Microsoft bought them and they announced them, like maybe they could get that full production in and make it the game that maybe we could want because I just hope it becomes maybe our God of War or something. It becomes our kind of like our AAA kind of third person slow moving action game, but also has a deeper story. And I really connected with that original character. And hopefully, they just make a better game than Hellblade 1. Hellblade 1 is a good game altogether. I don't think it's the greatest game of all time, but like maybe they can improve on. I mean, I hope they improve on the combat. I hope they improve on certainly the puzzles. I had some annoying moments with the puzzles, so it looks good. I just hope, it is what it is. And it looks like it's a few years in the making. Dan, you played Hellblade or?
Yep, yeah, I played some of it, and it was really interesting that they kind of took the aspect of like someone with a mental illness and everything to kind of get people talking about that more and everything too. It was just a very interesting take on like how someone would be experiencing these things, especially in that time period. Just like, oh, it's ancient Viking type stuff and everything, but this is kind of how a lot of those people may have perceived it just because they had diagnosed like mental illnesses and everything. They were seeing things that weren't really there and everything meant a lot more. And it all kind of works out because your brain does crazy stuff like that. But it was really cool to just kind of see that in action and have it like pull you in so much that like you just feel like you're kind of there. I found it very hard. The hardest part for me to get through was like I was trying to play it during the day sometimes because it's a
Yeah.
rather dark game.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
hard to sleep
Yeah.
after you watch
Yeah.
something or after you're playing something like
Absolutely.
that.
Yep.
But then I got my kids and everything too, and I kept wanting to be like I usually keep one headphone off so I can hear everybody, and I was kind of like, I'm just gonna Just gonna
Yeah.
listen some more and get really into this. So it sucks, yeah, and it's really
Yeah.
good at that. But yeah, it's a
Yeah,
really
it does.
interesting style and
It is
just
a
like how they did it and how much they're advancing kind of like experimental techniques to design the game and everything too. Like even
Yeah,
the like Josh was saying, the animators are taking like fighting training just to kind of get the feel of it and know how those things would feel or would look like because they're watching people do it, they're training with it, they're doing it themselves and everything. And like apparently the main actress took like a whole ton of like extra combat training just to get
2
really
years.
really good at it. Yeah.
Years. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
yeah,
Yeah, I will say just when you were talking about the headphones, it is the perfect game to put on with headphones.
Mhm.
The sound and the sound design overall, it's probably one of the best sound design I've ever heard in games. You know, we don't talk about sound design too much because it's video games. We think about graphics and all this stuff, but sometimes just the touch and feel of games can also just put on that atmosphere. And I've always felt like that game has the best whispering at least.
Yeah.
Yeah,
oh
I'm
yeah,
curious if they're going to use like Dolby Atmos
Yep.
and what like 3D audio. I want it to be such a benchmark for 3D audio
Hmm.
for this sequel, considering that the first game really uh, pretty much used that almost as a marketing technique for the game itself.
yeah,
And it
they
really
did.
brought that like you could like hear them talking behind you if you're using headphones, like using your
It
TV
was it was
is
even worse during the day for that because I was like, is
Yeah.
that my kids? Like is that the game? Is that my
oh,
kids?
that's the
Like
worst,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I'm
oh,
like, did someone just whisper to me?
Yeah,
yeah,
But it's
that's
so
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
layered
yeah, yeah,
on top of itself that
yeah,
it's amazing. I want to see what they can do
yeah,
that with that using these
yeah,
new like Dolby Atmos techniques and
Yep.
even what Microsoft brings to the table. I forget their specific name, but pretty much does the same thing as Dolby
yeah,
Atmos, but not as you know fine
yeah.
tuned.
Yeah. I ended up playing with my 7.1 surround sound headphones, and I'm not sure 100% how well those work because they're fairly old and falling
Yeah.
apart a bit on me now. But it was really good sound, just like all around for their design and everything. Just yeah, little whispers make you think you're hearing things, and it just adds to that whole level of like talking about mental illness and everything too. It's just like yeah, that's things that happen to people.
mhm.
Absolutely. And I think the last thing is that, you know, it's now transitioning to Unreal Engine 5, and so is I think quite a few other games. So I think because of that, I think that game's going to come out probably 2023 earliest. It looks like a 2023 game, maybe.
And
I don't know.
I
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
I really do think they're really gonna aim for the graphics that they're showcasing. I know it's in engine,
Hmm.
but like those shots of flying over the field or the big landmass and then the little village. For the longest time, I thought that was actually real. It was the same Forza effect for me, right? When
Yeah,
I was thinking that I was looking at an actual car until, of course, it starts moving, right? And then you notice things. But like at first, I was just like, and then they were showing pictures of like wood framing and stuff like that, and the graphics are incredible. I thought it
Unreal,
was real. I unreal exactly. I right, no
no pun
pun.
intended.
Right,
right?
yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Well,
So
there's
if
a
they
couple
can
shots in that trailer where you see her
yep,
character model.
oh yeah.
It's quick. You can look up some screenshots from the presentation that they showed.
Yeah.
But I hope they're just like this is like you thought. You know these. You thought we couldn't make a pretty game.
Oh no,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
yeah,
it's
no.
gonna be a pretty
yeah.
game.
Here
Oh,
we
it'll
go.
be, yeah, yeah, yeah.
They're going to be in competition with the coalition for who uses the Unreal Engine the best.
Oh
Because
yeah, yeah,
the coalition, hands down for me, uses
the
the
best.
Unreal 4 the best. They're
But
the
you know what?
masters of it.
It's nice that they have the coalition there to help them if they're having like any issues. And you know, they said they're working directly with Epic Games.
Mhm.
They can be like, hey, we're actually trying to do this weird thing here? Is there a way we can do that? And you can say they have like VIP access to one, the Coalition, and two, Epic. Like,
Right.
you got one, the people who make the engine itself, and then two, the masters of that engine.
And of course you want to help them because of like they literally are promoting the best parts of your engine. It's such a known franchise that it's like, yeah, of course we're going to help these guys get this engine because we know the capabilities and we want the developers to really. I'm excited because I still think that Gears of War 5 is still one of the best looking games I've ever seen to this date.
Oh, it is. It is.
The Hive Busters,
absolutely.
especially. It's every time I played it, every single time I fired that game up, it shocked me about how beautiful of a game it is. It's just such a great looking game.
Yeah.
It's funny just remembering back to when I was young. We keep talking about this because we're old guys.
Yeah.
But
Tell
it's
us,
just
Dan.
funny,
Tell
like
us.
just remembering growing up on all these like old school graphics and everything.
Oh,
Like I remember
yeah.
GoldenEye back in the
Oh,
day
yeah.
and everything, and just the polygons. Like you've got like a triangle shaped face.
Yeah.
Warms the heart, man, thinking about
and
it though, right?
And I think as like, my son and my daughter, they're never gonna like I will try and get them to appreciate that
Yeah.
where we came from there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it will be like pulling teeth, right? Because they'll be like, look at what I have access to. You want me to
Yeah,
play
exactly.
this? Like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
even
my uncle trying to
side-scrollers
get me into
look
like
better.
text adventures. My uncle was
Yeah.
trying to get me into text adventures, and I honestly gave it a good shot, but it was hard because it's not something you're used to.
Yeah.
And like it was very different. I ended up playing a few because they did get really like a lot more interesting, but I ended up playing them when I was older and I could appreciate them a little more and everything because there was so much story and everything in some of the games that I was playing that I actually wanted to go back and
Yeah.
but it'll be
On
interesting
to
to
what
see 'cause, yeah.
on to what you guys are talking about. It's true because when I think of my daughter, let's say because I got my console when I was 8 years old. So by the time Erica is 8 years old, that's probably going to be around the time Elder Scrolls 6 is going to release. So that's going to be like I'm not going to come on. It's not
Yeah.
that she's.
If
I
it's
don't know
not
if it's
open world,
suitable
it's
for an
broken.
She
8-year-old.
can
Okay,
see
but
it now.
but
Yeah.
if she can see the graphics and that's her first experience at 8 years old, yes, she's played like other little games like Lego and Psychonauts 1 and all those type of things. But that is the bar, right? I started playing games at 8 years old, so this is what the games are looking at when she's 8 years old. It's unbelievable, absolutely
This
unbelievable.
generation will be playing Bethesda games that aren't
Yeah,
super glitchy. It's
yeah.
going to be weird.
Yeah, because they're not
What?
making it for
What?
multiple.
I know they're
Let's
gonna be
hope
like
they're not
back in our
glitchy.
day.
Yeah. You mean Fallout wasn't like glitchy at all?
Oh my gosh, back in our
Sometimes those
day,
are fun.
playing Morrowind
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
first time. Holy
Yeah.
smokes,
Oh yeah.
man! Yeah.
Before we transition, I kind of want to chime in. I kind of want to talk about the age thing. This isn't even that long ago, but I remember even like E3 2005 seeing Unreal Engine 3 running Gears of War, the original, and being
Oh
scared of
man.
being scared of the locusts. Like
Oh
I actually generally
yeah.
found it kind of scary. Like I thought this was like a true horror game, and then
I was a little bit
I was a little bit like,
older to
yeah,
not be like scared of it that way.
yeah,
Like, but when the
yeah,
console came out, I was 2006. That
yeah,
I was 21 years old though. So
yeah.
I
My
remember the meat cube. The
yeah,
meat cube in the
yeah.
demo. It was
yeah,
the
Yeah.
cube, and they were
Oh
shooting
yeah.
it.
yeah, yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah.
yeah.
remember that.
Oh,
I remember
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
oh man.
It's like I don't know how to say it. It's just putting us on like an age thing, but like for us, like
The
our jaws dropped. Like
Yeah.
I like my jaw
Especially
dropped
the
when I saw that.
multiplayer. The multiplayer.
Oh, Gears was
Gears of War
insane.
multiplayer. Oh,
Yeah,
that was
all this stuff,
me.
all
That
this
was
stuff.
me. All over the
And
place.
awesome. Anyway, we should transition to something kind of actually. This is also alluding to something that's also like a big discussion that Jesse, I wanted to tell you about because we were talking about something that happened a while ago, but Japan
Oh yeah.
is finally becoming one of Xbox's biggest emerging markets. For a
It's-
long time, I thought, we're just going to be extinct in Japan. We're never going to exist in Japan. Japan does not know Xbox. It's just some American console, right? How the tides have turned with this generation. There's more dev kits than ever. It's just great to see so many like productions made in Japan. We finally own a Japanese studio, and guess what? The Series S is selling a lot. So is the Series X. And Game Pass is very affordable. And Xbox Cloud streaming in Japan is going to be huge because, heck, in Japan, the number one place where people are playing games is not on a console, it's not on TV, it's not on computer, it's on the phone.
Yep.
And that's the big important aspect of it. When I met you, Jessica, me and you were talking about some really cool Japanese games, and we were just like, man, remember those games? Remember when we tried to do it in Lost Odyssey and Blue Dragon?
Enchanted Arms. Did you ever play that?
No, no.
Oh, Enchanted
Yes, I did.
Arms was a really good
What was
another.
that?
It's an RPG.
Mhm.
I can't remember. I can't remember if it
Had
was
a
a
really
Japanese
nice art
studio or if it
style.
was right,
Really?
or if it was just targeted for the Japanese audience. But I big time remember those days when they were trying to get into Japan, and they were successful at games like Lost Odyssey. Yep.
Yeah.
What is it called? Endless Sonata or something
Eternal
like that?
Sonata.
Eternal Sonata.
The
Oh
Chopin game.
yes,
The
yes, yes.
Chopin game. I love
The
that game.
Chopin, yeah.
Yeah.
What a beautiful art style. Like,
Yeah.
that game was absolutely gorgeous.
Yep.
Yeah, it
And
was.
games like, Lost Odyssey, Blue Dragon.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're saying they are becoming their pretty much their biggest emerging market right now. And I'm not really surprised. They've been focusing on putting games like the Yakuza series onto Game Pass. They got Blue Dragon. I think there's even a holiday for Blue Dragon. Like Blue Dragon is huge in Japan, and just the affordability of the 1S and the you know um, they don't have a ton of space in
It's pretty.
their
Yeah.
living quarters, and the size of that 1S is
Yeah.
super attractive. They
Perfect.
see that in a store just out about, and they're like, okay, and then you can just sign up for this service and just get all these games with it right off the bat.
Yeah.
And they're
Um,
no slouches either. These games, right? Like
Yeah.
yeah, that's an easy sell. You got games like, what just came out this week, the Scarlet Nexus.
Yakuza.
There's Yakuza.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rumors that the Persona series will be coming out and eventually. It just shows that titles, even though like titles like Final Fantasy, for some reason going exclusive all of a sudden, but money talks. That's a competition for you, right? Not a
Yep.
big deal.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But
We found out.
it shows that that alone doesn't sell the console, and they're doing great, and that's fantastic to see because I hope we get more Japanese games out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think also the thing is that Game Pass actually has a ton of JRPGs now on their library, and not only that, but they have some great games from Japanese publishers. You guys just said Yakuza, Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest is quite huge, and the fact that instead of buying it for a full price, you get Dragon Quest. I even think about the fact that Japanese publishers also try to see how Game Pass was, and they took even though Outriders is not a Japanese game, it's made by People Can Fly. They took that a lot in account. Like they saw a lot of growth from that, so they're gonna notice that, and they're gonna be like, okay, should we be just should we if we release a game on Xbox, we just put it on Game Pass and have a great growth for that. So I just think that's huge.
Wonder
I
how
remember in high school.
Octopath did for them. Sorry, you were saying?
No, that's okay. Yeah, I was just adding something about Dragon Quest.
Yeah.
Sorry. I wonder how Octopath did for Square Enix, considering that's a similar thing.
Yeah.
But you're saying in high school, Jess?
About the Octopath thing, it has to be pretty well because that did release on Game Pass as well,
Mhm.
and so that just
Day one.
allowed that. Yeah, and that was
Yeah.
that they got those players. No, I was just saying, in high school, I don't know if I should say this or not, but Dragon Quest was so big. In high school, I was actually trying to get the games on the emulators. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And play them on the emulators and try to get the original Dragon Quest, and I played Dragon Quest 1, 2. These were Japanese releases that I don't think they had English dub.
Yeah.
There was some mod that they added to translate the Japanese writing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do
Oh,
that in an Xbox.
And it's funny you're saying like to get ROMs because like it was the same
ROMs,
thing
yes.
Yeah.
when we were kids.
ROMs.
It was the same thing of trying to get anime. Remember
Yeah.
like
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Dragon
Street
Ball
Fighter
Z
series.
Yeah.
Oh
was like
man.
way ahead in Japan, and
Yeah.
we kept on like trying to get like the cassette tapes, and those
Yeah.
cost like so much money.
Uh-huh.
Like
Yeah.
oh, I remember that, or trying to get the DVDs of them. And now we're just like, oh, it's on the internet, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Absolutely.
not
Get yourself
anymore.
a
No
subscription
more
to
struggles.
Crunchyroll and you're good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
exactly.
real.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. You
Oh.
know, I think the thing that they can benefit is for Japan is, just for developing for the cloud, like that's such an important way for a lot of Japanese developers to make it because you just hear about all these other developers making games for the cloud and how they can excel. Japanese developers make games quite differently than an American developer or a European developer. And the benefits of the cloud. I mean, I can't talk too much about it because I'm not a tech guy, but I do know I have a couple of
Uh-huh.
tech guys here that can talk about it. Dan and Josh, you guys
Yeah.
definitely love about it, but like let's just talk about making the idea of just even making games for the cloud and like how maybe even like developers from Japan because they're probably not the bigger studios of like anything from US or in Europe and all that stuff like what are the benefits of, just developing a game for cloud?
Well, that's the interesting thing is like a huge part of it's going to be scalable hardware because you
Yeah.
can just keep adding hardware in the back end and you can basically make it as powerful as you want as long as you can get that to work properly. And then on top of that, you're also like able to run the game basically off of one hardware system that just a few terminals are connecting to. So that actually changes how you can develop the game and how you can manage, especially multiplayer type
Yeah.
games and everything.
Yeah.
There's a huge like potential there for having a massive world and a massive game all running on this big super powerful console that nobody on their own could afford to run these games and everything and connect to multiple consoles like that and then just have it run. Like we kind of saw like a bit of it trying to be utilized with Crackdown
Yeah.
even.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they were showing a great demo on that a long
Yeah.
time ago that was just like showing
Shooting for
like
the
okay,
stars on that
Yeah.
one
yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
exactly.
But we can achieve it
and,
now. But we can achieve it
yeah,
now.
and
Actually,
that's
we have
just
a
it, right?
we have a real world example of it right now. In Flight Simulator, they
Simulator.
stream the
Absolutely.
map into the game. Like if you're flying around the whole world, I think the game would be like I couldn't even imagine how big the file would be on
Yeah.
your computer. So they use Azure to stream in the satellite images, and the game kind of procedurally makes it. They obviously go in and make like more popular areas more detailed and stuff, and now that you can land anywhere. But transitioning to the cloud topic, they just announced that they are going to be making cloud only games or a hybrid of both, like Flight Simulator, that will utilize the cloud. And they just actually hired a person from Google,
Yeah.
actually a
Kim
great
Swift.
developer.
Kim
Yeah,
Swift.
Kim
Yeah.
Swift. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Oh.
she's been working on Stadia for a long time. Even though Stadia is the product as it is now, it's still kind of good to have a person who's, one, a great developer, and two, has kind of lived and breathed that world for a while. But you've had like developers, like from the Grid developers, saying, hey, we can do way more people in multiplayer and more interesting stuff just because we are on the cloud. We can do more with that. So the fact that they are, one, they're not abandoning consoles.
Yeah.
What
No.
powers the cloud is the console itself.
Yeah.
So the benefit Japanese developers have, the benefit of any developers, is when you make a game for Xbox, you make it for the cloud simultaneously. It just works, which is really nice. So I'm very curious what you're probably gonna not see anything like too dramatic.
Soon. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually probably, I'm very curious what Forza Motorsport will probably utilize in something like that.
What
Yeah,
about
maybe even
Starfield?
what about the next Horizon after 5? What if it's
Yeah.
a world? Like,
Exactly.
what if they take that concept of flight simulator where it's doing the world, or they're like, oh, we're going to do all of Europe, or you know what, we're finally going to do Japan, but we're going to do the entire island of Japan.
Yeah.
That's what I'm very curious about.
That would be cool.
Yeah. If I'm sure, well, I'm with a bunch of 3 old guys. So if you don't know who Kim Swift is,
Oh.
she made Portal. She made Portal, which is, a fantastic game. So this is clearly like a smart hire. And well, she also did Google Stadia. Dad, actually, Josh, you were saying it. Yeah, it is the developer of Grid. They're the ones who said that. It's 40 players on just on the multiplayer race, which is ridiculous. I was just used to like 10 or 12 players. So
Well, they're obviously achieving that with like other games like Riders Republic and the new Battlefield and stuff. And there's ways to unlock it on like current hardware, but they're saying it just is a lot easier through that.
absolutely. I'm wondering if there's actually existing games because there is a thing that actually 343 is figuring out that if the Master Chief Collection, they're trying to see if they can do 30 to 60 players. Did you guys hear about this? It's actually just came out on like Twitter and just a couple of articles very recently. So that would be
Ooh.
kind of cool. Yeah.
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 I hope they apply that to Infinite because I want more than 24 players.
I want
Yeah.
more than 20. I'm sure there's some sort of Sorry, go ahead, Jesse.
I did they not give a player amount in Infinite? They did.
24. 24.
But I think there's a big team battle coming up.
Yeah, the
I think
team
there's a
battles
bigger-
are 128 players. And
In,
one
in Battlefield.
in Battlefield.
Oh, that's
2042,
Battlefield. I'm so
yeah.
sorry. My
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah. But
If they can do that for Halo.
Yeah.
Oh, I know they could, right?
Well,
Because
they'll do it.
then that
They'll
would
do
really
it.
bring us back to those big big matches.
Like, that's when I feel like they'll start leaving the old hardware behind at that point, and maybe even just be like, hey, it's been a couple of years. All you people on Xbox One, you're going to play the cloud version of this game now.
I think next year the consoles are totally phased out by next. I don't think any major title next year is coming out on the original consoles. I can't see it happening. Closer to the end, and what I mean by that is like Starfield might be one of those games that are 100% not on the old gen consoles. They were already talking about that might be the case. Do you know what I mean?
I think Forza Horizon 5 will be the last.
Yeah. Maybe there might be something down the line. They were saying 2021. They were going to say till the first 2 years of like the Xbox Series X that they'll still support the Xbox One. So, but you never know, right?
If Sea of Thieves keeps on doing as good as it is.
Yeah. Well,
that is they have the base work there though to play on the original consoles. I don't know. I don't know how that translates.
Yeah.
I find indie games will still be releasing, but stuff that is starting to transition into like new ways to do like physics and stuff, like the next Forza Motorsport will be doing, kind of reamping that. A lot of stuff that's a lot more CPU heavy. That's where we'll start to see more of a transitioning out of that.
Yeah, but it'll be nice to see even just like some of the power transferred over to the cloud. Because like you could still run quite a bit off of even the Xbox One consoles and everything, especially Xbox One S and everything.
Right.
And it'll be interesting to see them just kind of slowly like start to generate more things through the cloud software and everything.
And can you be really mad as an Xbox One owner when they're just like, hey, you're already playing online, why don't you just stream the next gen version or the sequel to your console? It's not like they're forcing you to buy a console.
Right. It doesn't leave you behind. It allows you to make your purchase
reason
a reason
for the online all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you happen to want to get a console, then you know what I mean. It allows you to take your time to move and transition into that. Right when you know. I think that feature is totally amazing, and it just shows how in tune with its fans. Microsoft is right now, and
Yeah.
they really are. They really are.
Yeah.
Because all these things are all things that are like quality life things. Like the I was just before doing the podcast, I was talking about how amazing I think it is that like I have my Series X connected to both my laptop and my phone, and at any given time I can play games on all like three of them. That's to me that's revolutionary. That's never happened before. And the way they're going about it, solid, solid.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd be curious if I think was it Josh, you've got an Xbox One S, and like just I'd be curious how you're gonna stream it. Like if you want to, like, if you do like Microsoft Flight Simulator on a stream, and how it goes on that stuff.
I have the One X.
Oh, you have the One X. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
For some reason I thought you had the One S.
No, Ryan just got, our buddy Ryan just got the One
Oh,
S.
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Awesome.
And he says it's great.
I played
Yeah.
the OG. I had the OG Xbox One for the
The
whole.
OG.
Yeah, bought
Oh,
that.
nice.
Yeah, 2015. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
Nice.
nice for those people who bought the One X
Yeah.
and don't feel like they're going to be, because I imagine those people will want to upgrade eventually
Mhm.
to the Series X, but
Yep.
they'll still be able to enjoy Flight Simulator. Like
Yep.
I have a work friend of mine who usually doesn't even buy the consoles until like almost like 5 to 6 years into the life cycle of those
Yeah.
consoles, and now he'll be enjoying all these games.
Absolutely. Yeah. No gamer left behind, and I love it. Yeah. The consumer-friendly versions of Microsoft. All right, let's move on to Sea of Thieves. Yesterday, well, actually, if you're going to watch the broadcast, it's going to probably be a few days later. Sea of Thieves just released a expansion of Pirates Life, which is the Pirates of the Caribbean crossover for Sea of Thieves. Josh and I played it. We had a lot of good time. I mean, it's great to see like such a focused narrative on this. This is 2 years in the making. Apparently, Rare was keeping this on secrets for 2 years. No one
Yeah,
knew
I'd
about this.
say.
It was a pretty much a big when that happened. I was like, "Whoa, what? Well, I didn't even see this coming." But this was pretty awesome. Have you two tried it, Dan, Jesse? Have you guys tried it yet?
I tried it. Because I installed the game a few days ago because I'm in and out of that game.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to play it because it is multiplayer like 100%, so I wasn't
Yeah.
able to activate the story.
Yeah.
But I can't wait till I
You'll
can.
you'll play with us. You'll play
Oh
with
yeah,
us.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll do our
Yeah.
galleon crew, guys.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I haven't played the new Tall Tale there just yet, or like the experience that they were talking about, the expansion there. And but I have played lots of Sea of Thieves before, and
Yep.
I've always enjoyed that game. It's always a fun like pick up and play, and there's no I like the style that there's no real like edge that you can
Yep.
get by like buying items or like even just earning items or something. Like
All
it's
skill.
got its plus and minuses, but yeah, you've always got like different looks for your guy
That's
and
all
everything, and
vanity.
different interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which is, you know what, at the end of the day, for a lot of these games that are like that, these live service games, I like a lot of people call it in the Destiny community, you're playing Destiny at the end,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's all about your look. So the game just kind of very much leans into that. But it is a interesting expansion. We were playing it yesterday. You go through this portal, and it's not multiplayer, which is interesting. It's very focused.
It's scripted.
You're
Yeah.
in your own instance, so you're not getting attacked by other players.
Yeah.
There's interest in narrative. It's all done through like Ghost. And you don't see Jack until pretty much at the end at the Tall Tale. I found the fight with Davy Jones lasted a little longer.
Yeah. We could have used a couple of people, maybe.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Spoilers. Sorry, Mike.
I was just funny.
Let's not.
How dare you?
We are
Yeah.
a podcast.
Well, this is early stuff. And they said it
I
on
think they
the
did announce
30-minute
that in the
showcase.
trailer. Yeah,
They announced it in the showcase.
Showcase.
Yeah, which we were going to talk about. No, they've announced that part in the showcase, so we are saying everything that Rare has.
So only played the first Tall Tale out of
Yeah.
like what, 4 or 5 of
Five.
them.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Yeah.
So there's a lot, and it was long too.
Yeah.
And
We,
so what does it entail quest wise, and what are your objectives? Because the base game is pretty much you're doing uh quests. Obviously you're digging for treasure and stuff like that and trying to solve puzzles. What is it really?
Well, it's a lot of like how it is where you pick up the object and you bring it with you. So there's a lot of like, hey, this skull is talking to you from a cage above you, and you have to kind of go through kind of like almost like a little jumping puzzle where you pull levers to get to him to cut down the cage to pick up his skull, and you
Mm-hmm.
can bring him to like different bodies and put him on the bodies, and there's a narrative to like each kind of place you bring him to.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a good every action you're doing has either a voiceover behind you and a reason to do it, but they do a really cool thing. So we'll just talk about, and Jess, don't worry, we'll play this right after.
Yeah.
But you get the skull, you bring it to the lighthouse, and he
Mhm.
teaches you how to call the ferryman, because you're like on, when you die in Sea of Thieves, you go to this ferry.
Yep.
So you're kind of in the world of that place. So
Oh.
the first mission is all about calling that boat to this island and getting onto a rowboat and sneaking onto that ferry to free Jack.
Cool. Really cool.
Yeah.
And the whole sneaking onto the boat, like I loved the getting onto the rowboat and just like rowing to the ferry. It felt so
Cinematic, actually. It just felt.
yeah, like but
Yeah.
organic at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. I just everything that Josh is saying, just to add, I just love the fact that this game has like scripted story experiences, because when I first played it, I was just like, oh, it just felt like a lot of quest hunting and all this stuff. You have this character called a cursed captain that comes with you. He's like this talking skeleton. Mind you, I'm not a big Sea of Thieves player, but I just like the fact that there was somebody with you at all times that was like making this game a bit more interactive and just and just it just brought something that I kind of wish this game had at the beginning, but I'm just admiring it. So yeah.
Yeah, they had a lot of like animations, like you're watching Jack Sparrow fight like this crab monster at the front of the boat while you're fighting Davy Jones. But yeah, I'm very curious what the second Tall Tale has. So the good thing the fact that Jess, that we went through it is there's a couple spots that we got stuck on, and we'll just fly you through it.
Yeah,
So.
exactly. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, thank God that wasn't a live stream that was fully broadcasted. We got stuck for about a good 20 minutes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and we're like, oh
You
yeah,
guys failed the escape room.
yeah, the thing to add about this, and I want to bring this to a discussion, is that Rare presented this as an Xbox showcase on Xbox on the YouTube channel, and it was a 30-minute showcase that I don't think we get that a lot on a lot of first party games. You get that Nintendo's Treehouse or PlayStation State of Play where you get to see like some big game and all the little aspects of it coming up. I just wanted to say, like, we should get that for more games like Halo, Forza, and Gears and Starfield, because I'd love to go for deep dives, right? I had a lot of fun watching it, because I didn't want to play Sea of Thieves for a while. Watching that, I was like, Josh, can we play Sea of Thieves? I know we're supposed to do a scripting for this podcast yesterday, but I'm like, Josh, can we play Sea of Thieves? Yeah. But I'm curious to see what you guys think about it, if you guys saw it.
I mean, I saw like little bits of it and everything, but I haven't played it too much yet.
Yeah. Well, Josh,
I'm excited to try it.
I did watch the full thing, and yeah, no, I did like the format it was in. I hope we can get something like this more often, kind of like a state of play, or reminding me of like the Vidocs Bungie used to do, or even what they just did recently with the Halo multiplayer.
Yeah.
Just like these deep dives into these games, because it makes them feel special. Like they
Yep.
actually care about it. They made like
Yeah.
a little mini documentary on it,
Yep.
and it makes that hype for the game even more. It gets you really really
Yep.
jazzed for the game. So I hope they continue something like this, because I feel like games like Starfield deserve something like that. And the fact
Oh
that
yeah.
they did a 30-minute deep dive for essentially just something that is an expansion for an existing game,
Mhm.
but it clearly worked, because the game is like what, number one selling game on Steam right now again.
Yep.
The population is off the charts
Yeah.
again, and because of this expansion, and they really um, showed the kind of meat and potatoes of that expansion. They delved deep into it, showed its worth and why you should be excited about it.
Best pirate
Something.
game?
Sorry,
That's
what?
Best pirate game?
ooh.
We'll
Can
see
I
when.
can I say something? You want to know what my favorite best pirate game is? Sid Meier's Pirates from the
Oh
original
yeah.
Xbox.
Yeah.
Have you guys
I
played
like
that?
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed 4.
Mine is
Ooh.
Yeah, Black Flag was
probably
good.
mine
Yeah.
is probably a Bethesda title
Ooh.
called Pirates
Pirates of
of
the
the Caribbean.
Caribbean.
Yes, you got
There you
it.
go.
You got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that one. That
Yeah.
is old school. For the original Xbox.
Yeah.
One game that I played a lot of on that system. It was a great Bethesda kind of RPG narrative trading game. Ah, it was great. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, no, Josh, I completely agree with you. We need more of those.
Yeah.
Especially, I'd love to see like another Vidoc from like whatever from Halo, but even if it's just from a game that I don't know too much about, let's just say I'm sure we're going to get something for Starfield down the road, but like let's hypothetically say Redfall, something I have no idea what's it about. I'd love to see a 30-minute, just like a bunch of talk about the music, game design, gameplay, just cinematics, anything like that. I would love to see that. I'd love to be more sold on these games than just these trailers that we see. I think it's we're gonna do our research and everybody's gonna buy a game and we're gonna try it on Game Pass. But there's also a great way to hype a game, just to help with the pre-orders. So
Hmm.
It's an interesting way to get to know the like developers and everything more too. Like you
yeah,
get to see
Yes.
some actual faces of people who are working on the game and who are putting their blood, sweat, and tears into the games for you guys and everything and for us and like yeah, really showcasing the people behind all of the games.
yeah,
Yeah, and like where they get their inspiration from.
Yep.
Even like we back to the top of the show talking about Hellblade 2.
hmm
Their passion going out to all these locations, training, gets you passionate about it. And it's nice to see where that comes from. Like seeing 343 and a lot of Halo veterans talking about their passion for Halo and why they got into the gaming industry.
yeah,
It's for us gamers, I feel like stuff like that sells us to the game.
Mm.
absolutely.
And also, what sells is the fact that we're going to play them all for free on Game Pass. So that's not bad.
Ooh,
Yep.
okay, nice.
Man,
Can,
watching that press conference, like,
yeah,
remember like a couple of years ago when you watch one of those and you're just like, okay, I'm going to buy this one, but I'll probably wait for this one to go on sale. And then you watch this and you're just like, I'm just going to play all those.
yeah.
Yeah, you had to make a selective choice because you didn't have all the money.
Yeah.
To get
Yeah,
all those games.
those $60 games. Well, now it's 70, but those $60 games were, you choose 3 or 2 or your whatever it is, depending on how much money you can put in, or your fall of Christmas. Now it's just Game Pass. Okay, I'll wait for the release date. Let's wait for the release date and it'll come
You
in.
can't even rent them from Blockbuster anymore.
Oh.
Maybe we should
Yeah.
just ask that, just so we can go back in time.
We need
Yeah.
Blockbuster back.
Yeah, please.
Our kids will never know Blockbuster.
Yeah.
It's funny, the people who complain about Game Pass, like if you grew up like us, like
Yeah.
our Game Pass was Blockbuster,
Yeah.
literally.
Same
No,
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same exact thing.
Yeah.
Just in the virtual space.
I remember playing Max Payne 2, and I love that game, but it was like an 8-hour game, and I'm just like, well, I don't want to buy $49.99 or $59.99 for this. I want to I want to just rent it in Blockbuster. It's gonna
Yeah.
be I'm gonna beat this game in a day,
One weekend, right? It
one
was a
weekend,
weekend,
or
right?
weekend games, right? So, and I love short games. I'm right now playing Wolfenstein 2, New Colossus, and I'm almost done. I think I'm at like
I
the
love
last.
Hellblade,
Yeah,
right?
Hellblade,
Oh,
6 hour
give me
game.
a short game. I'm
Give me a short
I'm
game.
all over. Yeah, I'm all over
Yeah,
a short
I'll
game,
take it. I'll take
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
especially being a dad.
yeah,
Yep,
absolutely,
exactly. Yep.
absolutely.
I can't say I mind too much that like Blockbuster's kind of gone away with and everything too, because at the same time as it was great and nostalgic for us, it was probably not so great for the game developers to have
Yeah,
all these games out there that people weren't
yeah,
buying. And
yeah.
now with the game
Yeah,
streaming and everything, yeah, the revenue streams are a lot better. It helps indie developers more than it hurts them.
that's a good point. Yeah.
That's true.
Uh,
That's true. They're seeing more user base as
It's
well.
funny that the change is good at least.
Yeah,
Yeah.
chain. Yeah. Let's talk about our biggest. Well, I want to say this is the big discussion of the podcast. A few days ago, or I believe just a days after E3, Pete Hines had a discussion on GameSpot where everything just got taken out of context, and it pisses me off because every goddamn time I feel like, because we're an Xbox podcast, we got to defend ourselves because it seems like the media hates us or we're the villains or we're something is wrong with this. But the big question is, did Pete
Not going
Hines
to
really,
work.
yeah, really apologize to PlayStation fans for Xbox exclusivity? That's the big discussion. Well, I want everyone to chime in, and I'm going to chime in because heck, I'm quite angered about this because this is getting to a point where I'm just like, do people have to take words, certain parts of an interview, and then make an article out and just freaking put up some weird false narrative and just play it out there, and then more other articles are going to be written, and then it's like, did he just say what I think he just said, and let's just put that in here and take it out? And that's what I saw, and that is exactly what I saw. Sorry, that was my weird, I don't know what my accent was there, but that is what I saw, and this is
Internet
what I'm
troll
getting.
accent.
Yeah, well, it is my trolling accent, but I'm sick and tired of hearing this. But okay, this is going to be. I need every one of you guys to talk about this. All right, who wants to go in? Jesse, you want to start in?
Sure.
Do we have to
Yeah.
apologize for them?
Well, absolutely not.
And was that even an
And
apology?
did Pete? Absolutely not. The thing that everybody is failing to understand, maybe I'm just going to keep this nice and short so we could. You can't when two companies are buying each other, or I mean, one company is buying another. Obviously, there are going to be discussions, and obviously, these sort of things are going to come up on the table. And if they weren't comfortable with the fact that these games were going to be exclusive, they wouldn't have probably signed the deal. They know because they believe in Game Pass. They know because they see the direction. They like the direction. It is going to get their games to a lot more gamers in the long game, right? And that's what it is. And it's okay for people's feelings to be hurt. And there's a lot of holding faith to Starfield was going to be a multi-console game, but it's just not the case. The writing was on the wall right from the get-go when they signed the deal, and Pete Hines or Phil Spencer specifically said where the games are going to be played. It could not have been any more clear, and I tried to tell people this, and with they won't believe you because I don't know, maybe it was just the narrative that PlayStation gets everything and all the other consoles don't, and that's what they're used to. But it's a new day and it's a new generation. Bethesda is Xbox first party, and I don't expect any future games to come out on any other platform. I just don't. Any other game. I don't.
Yeah.
Maybe online titles that exist already, but in terms of new projects that are in the works, new projects that are coming up, it will all be exclusive. I said this from the beginning. because the only reason why I said this from the beginning, not because I think I'm right, because I listened to the head of Xbox and his words. And that's
Shocking,
it.
right?
Right. That's it. I listened to
Shocking.
what the man had to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah. Dan.
Well, and
Or sorry, no, go. You go ahead.
well, what I find is funny is the fact that Pete Hines had to actually come out after the fact and say, quote, I'm not apologizing for exclusivity. I don't have to I don't have to do anything. Some of our fans are upset, angry, and I'm sorry as they are. That isn't wrong or weird. It's acknowledging how they feel. That's it. That's my whole point. So that tells you right there. He's just understanding that people can, like, I get that, you might have this perception that Starfield was going to be multi-platform, but this is kind of like the name. This is how the game works, right?
Yeah, this is how the industry works. Yeah.
They were shopping this game around for exclusivity to even Sony before they were getting purchased, and you like the narrative, how the narrative would have been reversed if we lived in a world where, one, they didn't get purchased, and two, Starfield was a PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah.
At least when it's exclusive to Xbox, one, we're getting it in the cloud. Two, we're getting it on the most affordable console and the most powerful console at the same time. And two, we're getting it on PC. So if anything, Microsoft having that exclusivity, which that game was going to be exclusive, it sounds like, to one or the other. And it looks like Sony decided to take, the Deathloop and Tokyo.
Yeah, Ghostwire Tokyo. Yeah.
Ghostwire Tokyo instead. Because probably, like, if you're asking for Pete Hines' new project he's been dreaming of for the last 25 years, I doubt that would have been a cheap exclusivity. So it's
obvious one they couldn't afford, or it would have been.
Yeah.
but
I'm just gonna leave it there. Right?
I'm not sorry that, Spider-Man, like, there's Spider-Man's exclusive to PlayStation for some
And I've
reason,
been watching
even though,
Spider-Man. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
but you've been watching
Yeah.
Spider-Man on Xbox for years, and now it's a PlayStation exclusive. I'm not upset about that. It's just kind of the nature of how things are. They own Insomniac. They have this weird kind of Spider-Man deal with Marvel of whatever they have going on with that. But
So we're
that's just
Spider-Man now.
yeah, but it's the name of the game, and it's just funny how the media can take that just little quote and make a title to the point where Pete Hines has to come out and acknowledge
Not
kind of player.
apologize for
Yeah,
apologizing.
but like, for Pete Hines, doesn't that just make you like, oh my God, like,
Oh
this
yeah,
outlet,
big time.
why do they do this? Like, why? It would just make me not even want to talk to these other outlets and just want to talk to people like Colt Eastwood or Dealer Gaming or Randall Thor. Yeah, like actual fans, because
North.
they're not going to they're not going to twist what they say. They're just going to be real, and it's just upsetting that the media tends to, even though we had a great E3 show, the media tends to still hate Xbox.
Oh
for some
yeah,
reason.
like I had a friend of mine come up and say that the Xbox show was absolutely horrible, and I had to look right into his face and say, "What are you talking about? That's not the narrative. That is not the narrative. Actually, the narrative is it saved E3." So I said I wanted to know where you were getting your information about how they weren't using like in-game engine footage and all this kind of stuff like that, and I was just like, it just seemed that because it didn't go the way that they expected it, right?
Yeah.
Or the, you know what I mean? It's not good, or it's not real somehow, or it's twisted, or it's just it's odd. It is odd thinking.
It's it's funny because for some reason, like, yeah, the PlayStation seems to be in such a high light and everything, and I understand the position that Sony's kind of in with the PlayStation and everything
And
too.
well deserved too.
Yeah, exactly. Well deserved.
Yeah.
And like it's just funny because they've kind of trapped themselves in a way, and I feel like it's like they're stuck in a situation where they've rejected crossplay and everything. So it's making it harder and harder to cooperate with them. Like these other games and everything like are trying to offer up stuff, but Sony's spending all its money on these exclusives and everything to be like this is what we have, this is all we have and everything. And I understand if you don't have those things, then it makes you less appealing, I guess, to
Yeah.
have your fan base kind of like put as much money as they can into your business so that you can re-put that into gaming and everything. But I think that's where Sony's kind of starting to fall short more and more. And not to like bash on them and everything, but like they're rejecting the idea of cooperating with the other gaming developers and the community to push gaming to a better place rather than just a business perspective
Hmm.
where it's just like okay like we've got all our single things and everything but if PlayStation or if Xbox and all the like Xbox PC cloud gaming all this stuff is getting so big and so available to so many people it's starting to make Sony irrelevant because they're not wanting to be a part of it like even there's like huge rumors going around that like Nintendo is going to be a part of Game Pass and stuff and we might see some Nintendo games on Game Pass and cloud
Wow.
gaming and stuff like that like not that
You
anything's
never
been
know.
confirmed just yet but that's just
Yeah.
it right
Never
it's
know.
like
Yeah.
at some point I think PlayStation's kind of got to give and either join the community and start making their own streaming services that either work with the technology or not, but like it's going to be a whole lot harder if they're not a part of it. Like if you can just use all those resources and join together kind of, I understand it's kind of eliminates competitiveness, but at the same
Well,
time, it's where it's going.
well, what drives me crazy is back to just the whole like narrative thing. It's yes, Sony has earned their place. They make great games. Like
Yep.
Yep.
none of us are
Yeah,
denying they
not like
don't
that.
make great games. Ghost of Tsushima, Uncharted series, they have fantastic developers under their
Ratchet and
belt.
Clank that just came out. Returnal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like we are starting. Like there was a title of an article that I read where it's just like the way Microsoft will win this generation is through Game Pass, through quantity, not quality. I'm like, what?
Oh,
Through
What?
quantity,
oh
not
yeah.
quality?
Oh my goodness.
Like, is Forza not like a 90? It's what, like 90 Metacritic game?
Yeah.
The new Halo looks fantastic. I'm sure the next Hellblade will be amazing. Starfield should be great. Uh, like,
Even Xbox
I'm
exclusive, the
sorry for
Medium
getting.
got an 8,
Yeah, I'm
Yep.
sorry for
right?
getting quantity and quality. You know,
Yeah.
if that's and even IGN was caught responding in comments that was like super
Biased.
biased towards PlayStation and kind of bashy towards
Yeah.
Xbox.
Yep.
And I'm like what's the point? Like just enjoy your games. Like I don't understand why when we finally get a W that they still have to give us an L, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
It's so funny. It is actually one of the reasons why I wanted to do a podcast because I just felt like there's not enough of us. Like, it's not us defending Xbox, but it just feels like we get this weird false narrative that keeps being written about us. Like, we're idiots that somehow bought this Xbox and still playing it. And it's like, oh, yeah, well, you guys just have Halo. We just have. Now we're finally having this generation where, like, well, the world's our oyster. We're just getting all this amazing set of games coming at us and we're now about to get all these exclusives. We're being more consumer friendly for the first time ever. We're everywhere. And isn't this all good things? I don't understand why this is a bad thing. I just don't get it. In fact, the fact that I tell some of my friends who own a PlayStation 5, hey, you know what? You don't have to buy an Xbox console. Just get Game Pass. You have a PC. Go do it. You
Yep.
know, I
Get a
think
The
controller
fact
and
that
a
you can
computer and you can go.
The
Yeah.
fact that you can even preview games on your phone if you don't even want to download it, right? You don't want to
absolutely.
download the actual game. You're like, you don't know if you want to, you know what I mean? If you have a bandwidth restriction, you can just
Yeah.
preview it. Spend about 5-10 minutes into seeing if you can actually want to play this game on the cloud, and then make your
Yeah.
decision to download it on your console or your PC.
I also want to add that, it's not like we've never been sour by anything that happened where Sony took some games from us, because I remember
No.
when the 360 came, when the
Yeah.
Final Fantasy games finally came for Xbox, and I was like, hey, my PlayStation friend has been telling about this game I don't know anything about. I have no idea what the hell's going on. It's just a bunch of people with a bunch of hair. And you know what? I enjoyed a few of those games, and I have friends who have played Xbox who loved that. And then you think about the fact that the next PlayStation 5 game is like a well, actually, they're not even announcing when the Xbox release date. Even Final Fantasy 7, everybody thought it was a 1-year release, but it looks like the contract is being renewed and there's still no Xbox version. It's kind of unfair. And you don't see us, and actually we are. I mean, I'm kind of upset about it, but I'm accepting it. Why can't people accept this? I don't know.
Yeah, it's about that acceptance. It is. I am not disillusioned to believe. Oh, you know what? There's just a little bit of hope that Final Fantasy VII remake is going to end up. I'm going to just leave it at that's not going to happen until I see it happening, and I'm okay. I accept that.
I have plenty of games to play.
Right. You see Xbox exclusive on a title. You should just expect that that's going to stay that way until it doesn't.
Yeah.
And then if it doesn't, be happy about it.
Yeah,
but if
but you
not,
know what?
go play God of War. Go play the games that you tout up and be happy with it. Because
you know
those
what?
are exclusives that we'll never see. Spider-Man is something right.
Go
we have
play those games. Go and play Halo. It's on your phone, man.
It's on your phone for even $1.
Yeah.
For even $1.
Yeah,
right.
I just don't
$1.
get it. Maybe we're just getting too old for this. That's maybe what it is. That's what it is. Maybe I don't know. Actually,
I'm cheap now, man.
Yeah,
I got
yeah,
kids.
yeah. I've got bills to pay.
Plus, I got a 55-inch Philips monitor I want to buy now.
Save up. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we should close up today and talk about that because hey, Jesse, do you use a monitor?
Oh, I do. Absolutely. Yeah. I use a Samsung monitor. Yeah. 4K.
Dan, you use a monitor as well?
Yep.
Yeah.
I use an Asus
You use
monitor.
a TV?
Yep.
Yeah, nice. Josh, you use a TV, I guess, or?
Yeah, no, I use my Vizio TV in my living room.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think I won't lie, guys. I think I'm definitely dropping the ball by using a 60 hertz TV. I
have a 60 hertz TV. I feel like if I see 120, if I see 120, I'll get spoiled and then go back to 60 hertz, and I'll be like, no.
Right?
Yeah. Oh my. Well, you know what? It is pretty awesome. If you haven't heard, Philips just announced a 55-inch monitor, and I'm designing I'm just loving all the new like Xbox stamp of stuff that's happening. We didn't even talk about the Xbox Design Lab. I'm loving the little controller things. Those are awesome.
I already designed my controller. I have it designed, in the same colors of the Twitch channel and everything. JD Pro on it.
Nice.
I'm excited. I'm even thinking of picking up a couple for giveaways and stuff like that later in the future. I think that would be really cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm saving my points for it right now.
Yeah.
I might be saving my points as well. I don't know how long it's going to take me though. It might take me $79,
right? $79 if you add your name on it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It adds like 15 more bucks to it if you get it engraved.
Yeah.
We'll get the Xbox North podcast and
next.
Yeah.
Black and red.
Josh, I have to say,
white.
there's one job that you should do is you should be like an Xbox trainer for points. Because you always remind me after the end of a gaming session, make sure to collect your points. And I'm like, wow, that's
if you
great.
get that achievement, just like go get your 50 points every day. Don't forget.
Yeah, right.
You should do a video about that.
Always check your points, do your quests, do your searches, because honestly, it's just free money. Like I almost have 35,000 points, and that's like what, $35?
Wow.
Yep.
So
nice.
Yeah, I'm almost at
and
20,000 or
there's
something like that.
there's a great Reddit group to join for that. They'll walk you through every week, every new quest, anything you need the
Awesome.
answers for. They
Awesome.
post like every day. It's great.
Awesome.
Very,
We'll
very
share
cool.
that. Awesome. Perfect. All right. Well, I guess that's it for tonight. That's all we have for today. Man, that was a great podcast.
Yeah, it
I
was a good
really
one.
enjoyed that little last piece about that. You know what? We need to keep defending ourselves because it seems like everybody's out to get us. Oh well. Anyway, that's just a story for us. You know what I mean? But you know what? We're not sorry. We're not sorry about this. By the way, I'm not
Oh no,
sorry.
we're sorry. Of course we're sorry. We're Canadian.
Actually, should we say we're sorry?
Sorry, we're
Because
sorry, sorry,
We're,
sorry.
we're, we're,
Sorry,
we're
don't
so
worry.
sorry
Sorry, guys.
for our
Sorry, guys.
fellow
Sorry.
other PlayStation fans. We're sorry. We're empathizing with you guys. This is empathy, folks. This is empathy. Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. Well, thank you so much for watching the Xbox North podcast. My name is Andrew Ravindran. I'm with Jesse Dean, Dan Robertson, and Joshua James. This is the Xbox North podcast. Thank you so much for coming. We're also sorry about everything. You know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah. Thank you, guys. All right. Peace out,
Take
everybody.
care, guys. Have a good night.
You too.
Exclusive. Sorry.
Exclusive.
Sorry. All right.
Sorry.